Good afternoon, Piglet. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. Thank you for asking. In case you didn't know, my name is Dr. Neary, and I'm going to be asking you a couple questions today about, how you're feeling and also some basic information as well. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that anything that you say to me is confidential, with the exception of anything that pertains to harm, whether that be to yourself or to others, or any sort of abuse that may be going on that does fall outside of the restrictions of my confidentiality. Is that clear to you?
Yes, that makes sense to me.
All right, well, let's start off with some basic information then. Could you tell me how old you are and as well as your date of birth?
So I am 51 and my date of birth is December 20th, 1968.
Awesome. 1968. Great. And what gender do you identify as, Piglet?
Male.
Awesome. Great. And what is your identified race?
Just a pig.
That's great. Your marital status?
I'm single at the moment.
Awesome. And what is your living situation?
So right now I live in a house that is in a beech tree and it's in the 100-acre woods.
That sounds lovely. You like living there?
I do. I like my house and I live near all my friends.
That's great. Okay, great. So now I want to ask you a little bit about your family history. So where were you born, Piglet?
So I was born in a house in the 100-acre woods.
Awesome, great. And is that where you grew up as well, or did you grow up somewhere else?
Yes, I grew up there in the same house that I live in now that is in a beech tree.
Awesome. And who raised you?
My mom, she was a single mom and she raised me.
Awesome. And did you have any brothers, siblings?
I have 2 brothers.
Great. And what would you say your relationship was like with your brothers and sisters?
I think I had a good relationship with my brothers. They were always nice to me, but I guess sometimes I worry that, I don't compare to them, they're more successful than me, things like that.
Yeah. And when would you say you started feeling like that?
Probably, during my childhood. They always seemed like they had more friends than me, and they, they did better in school and stuff, and so now I feel like they're more successful or, more capable than I am.
Yeah. I understand how we could feel that way sometimes. Are your siblings older?
Yes, they're both
Yeah.
older than me.
It's hard to compare with, older siblings, but, everyone's different. We have to keep that in mind. So let's continue. Have you been married?
No, I have not.
Okay, great. So we'll skip that section then. Do you have any children?
I do not.
Okay. Awesome. Now let's move on to your educational history. What is the highest grade that you have completed in school?
So I was homeschooled by Christopher Robin, and he homeschooled me through the equivalent of 12th grade, but I never went to a formal school before.
Okay. And did you like that experience? Did you enjoy homeschooling?
Yeah, I did. I liked learning about the world and about places outside of the 100-acre woods.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Were you ever enrolled in any sort of special education, any tutoring? Anything like that?
No, none of that.
Awesome. Did you ever struggle with any subject in school, find anything tougher, or?
Not really. I liked school and I liked learning.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you ever have any behavioral problems, suspension, expulsion, anything like that?
No, I really just went to school with my brothers and a couple other kids from around the 100-acre woods. We were all homeschooled by Christopher Robin, so there weren't too many other animals with me to, like, start problems with.
Yeah, awesome. So you say you got along well with your schoolmates?
Yeah, I would say so.
Awesome, awesome. So now I'm just going to move on to employment history. What was your first job?
So my first job that I got when I was younger was giving tours of the 100-acre woods for tourists.
Awesome, that sounds like fun. Have you had any jobs since then?
I had one job that was working for a home cleaning service. I like to keep things clean, and I'm good at cleaning, so I think that job worked well for me.
Yeah, awesome. And how long were you at that job?
For a few years.
Okay. Awesome. And which one of these jobs was the longest that you ever had?
The home cleaning one.
Okay, awesome. And that was for a couple years, you said? Awesome. And how did you feel that you did at this job? Did you, get along well with your coworkers, your supervisors, all that?
I liked my job, but I didn't really do well with my supervisors because sometimes, like, having problems with others can give me anxiety, and so then, like, I don't know how to respond to, like, supervisors or coworkers, like, criticisms, because I just get anxious, and I also stutter when I'm anxious, so then I don't know how to, like, express myself to my supervisors.
Yeah, I understand. That makes sense. Have you ever been fired from a job?
No.
Okay. And do you currently handle your own finances?
Yes, I do.
And has this ever been an issue for you?
No.
Okay, great. Were you ever enlisted in the military?
No, I have not.
Okay, great. Now we're gonna get a little bit more into some medical questions. Are you aware of any complications during your birth?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did you crawl, walk, talk, snort when you were supposed to?
Yeah, as far as I know, I did. I think that I was kind of like the runt of the litter. I was a little smaller than my brothers. So maybe because of that, I did some things like a little bit later.
Okay. Have you ever had any sort of head injury?
Yeah, I have had a head injury one time. There was like a big flood in the 100-acre woods, and I was trapped in my home during this flood. And then I climbed up on a chair to protect myself from the flood, but my chair started floating away, and I fell down a small waterfall, and I hit my head. But then my friends rescued me, so I got better.
And was that a traumatic experience for you? Do you still feel the effects of that event?
A little bit. I guess I get anxious around like water sometimes, and that might be because of that.
Yeah, I understand. Are you currently being treated for any physical illnesses or injuries?
No.
Okay. Awesome. Any medications?
No.
Great. Any seizures, blackouts?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. So, do you have any lingering effects from that head injury, would you say?
Not like physical effects,
Yeah,
no.
the trauma. Understandable. Okay. Now, these are some tough questions, and, just to remind you that, we're being confidential here, but, have you ever been physically abused?
No, I have not.
Okay. What about sexually abused?
No.
Emotionally?
No.
No, you hesitate a little bit there? You think no?
I think no.
Okay. Sounds good. Have you ever used any substances such as alcohol, cigarettes, marijuana, cocaine, any sort of hallucinogen drug, anything like that?
No, I haven't used any substances.
Okay. All right. So no issues with that either then?
No.
Okay. And now, as far as your legal history, do you have any current charges or a past criminal record?
No, I've never really been in trouble with like the law.
Okay, great. Now, now let's get into a little bit about your mental health history. So, does your family have any history of mental illness?
Well, my mom and my brothers have talked about having anxiety before, but they've never been like treated for that.
Okay, understand. Now let's talk a little bit about you. How would you describe your mood generally, would you say?
Well, I think that generally I'm happy when I'm at home or when I'm with my friends, but sometimes when I go outside and I'm by myself, then I have to face stuff that's scary and I become anxious.
Yeah.
And then also, like when I'm at home, I have to keep my house really clean and tidy in order to feel like safe and secure, like in my house.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Um, have you ever felt, any suicidal intentions or anything like that?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. And how often would you say that you feel this anxiety, stress, worry?
Um, I think pretty often, like when I'm outside of my house, because like I worry about encountering things I'm afraid of when I leave my home, and I'm especially afraid of like heights and like other animals that are bigger than me, because like I said, I was kind of like the runt of my litter, so I'm kind of small, and I often feel unsafe because I feel like I can't defend myself, and so then when I go out and leave my house, this can make me like stressed out sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. And would you say that this anxiety ever makes you feel, irritable?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Does it ever cause any problems with your sleep?
Yeah, sometimes I have nightmares that will reflect my anxieties.
Okay. Could you give me an example of one of these nightmares?
Like, sometimes I have this nightmare about, like, a big bear. Like, I go outside and then everything's fine, but then there's just, like, this bear that comes out of nowhere and it chases me. And I'm scared because I'm small and I can't, like, fight off the bear.
Yeah. And would you say that any of these ideas ever, come into your everyday life? You see this bear, it's not really there, anything like that?
No, not, like, while I'm awake.
Okay. And have you ever been diagnosed with any mental illness?
No, I have not. This is my first time seeking, like, therapy or any sort of, like, treatment.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here today. Let's talk a little bit about your daily activities. So, how do you spend a typical day, would you say?
Well, when I wake up, I typically tidy my house and make sure that everything is clean because everything in my house has to be clean and organized. Like, so I just make sure when I get up that it's done. And then I like to read or cook sometimes when I have to be alone, but I prefer to spend time with my friends. So on most days, I spend time with like Winnie the Pooh or Tigger or like some of my other friends.
Awesome. Great. And so, what kind of things would you say you do for fun?
I like to be with my friends and I have a lot of fun with them. And I also like to spend time indoors, especially like reading or writing, but like just staying inside my house because that's where I feel safest.
Yeah. And would you say that, when you're with your friends, that, your anxieties kind of disperse a little bit, that you feel better?
Yeah, I think I feel better when I'm with them. I guess I feel like the most anxiety when I'm like outside of my house and like I'm not with anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That's great to have a support system like that. That definitely helps. Have you noticed a deterioration in your personal care at all?
No.
Okay. How about any like interest in activities? Any issues with that?
No.
Okay. When you're with your friends, do you feel any like impaired ability to interact with them?
No.
Okay, great. Impaired ability to understand or remember certain things?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great. Let's talk a little bit more about your friends. So tell me about your social life. What do you like to do with your friends?
Well, I would say I have like a pretty active social life. I love spending time with my friends, especially my best friend Winnie the Pooh. We go everywhere together, and I love to hang out with him. And my friends make me feel safe and protected, but sometimes it's hard for me to hang out with them because sometimes I worry that they resent me or that they think I'm like a coward, but they just don't want to tell me.
Yeah, well, it sounds to me like your friends really enjoy being around you, and it's great that it sounds like you guys have a great relationship to me. Um, you want to talk a little bit more about any romantic relationships? I know you mentioned your best friend, that you guys seem to really spend a lot of time together and get along well.
Yeah, no romantic relationships lately, but I definitely have close friends that I have strong friendships with,
Yeah.
like especially Winnie the Pooh. And all my friends are like, they're always there for me and they help me when I'm in trouble. And so I try to help them too, even if I have to confront like a fear to do so. My friends are like really nice to me and they make me feel loved and protected, but oftentimes I worry that they're more courageous than I am and they'll think that I'm weak because like I have this anxiety.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense for sure. Um, and say, for instance, that um, your friend or family member stated some of these things to you and felt that, you got into an argument about that. How would you handle that, would you say?
Um, I mean, I think that I try to avoid arguments because definitely like confrontation gives me anxiety. So if my friends like said some things to me like that, I would probably just like try to ignore that or like forget
Right.
about it. Like I don't think I would like confront them about it.
And have they ever said anything like that to you before?
No, my friends have always been like really supportive of me.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Um, just a couple follow-up questions before we finish off for today. What would you say is the thing that causes you anxiety the most?
Um, Probably like being outside my house by myself. That makes me anxious because I feel like I'm not safe or like protected, and so whenever I like go outside and I'm not with my friends, I just feel really like nervous and like I stutter sometimes if I'm anxious, like when I talk to people, so like that makes it harder for me to talk to people about my anxiety.
Right. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So, I think we're gonna call it for today. I would definitely want for you to come back and see me again, and we can work through some of these anxieties that you have. I do this for a living, and I will definitely be able to help you. I think we can work through this together. I look forward to it. And it was really great meeting you today, Piglet.
Okay, thank you. It was great to meet you too.
Awesome. Goodbye.